Here it is, folks. Okay, I think I got it. I think out of practice. There we go. So, as we've mentioned before, this is the Fey. Just a quick little bit of review because we've got two new letters to learn and you might be a little confused, so we've got to practice the review. This is Fey. Fee, fee, fey, fey, fe. Fa, fa, fo, fo, fu, fu, fo. Line 2, fe, 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 ge, 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 fen, ge, fen. Hope it's not too fast, but it's time to start moving it a little bit. Ga, fen, ha, ga, fen. Line 3, ah, far, ha, fair. Le, fanav, tif, ara, tif, eret, tif, rod, si. Good going. Line number 4. Fanav, Nikadma, Fanav, Bitoda. All this is review. We've done it twice before, which is why I'm going a little bit quicker. Line 5. Tif Ara, Vehu Yihye, Batif Ara. Line 6. Tif Eret, L'Shem Ul Tif Eret, Velit Hila. I think that's enough practice. Look at the final Fey, goof. Example, ein lo demut ha goof, ve'eno goof. Okay, we are leaving the Fey behind. And we are, just give me a moment, going to get to the next element. Which will be the pay as a quick review. Let me come back to this. Come back to this. And here's the pay quick review because we've done this already a few times. This is the pay. It has the dot in the middle. Line 2, P, P, pay, pay, pe, pa, pa, po, po, poo, poo, puh. Just through his review. P, P, pay, pay, pe, pa, pa, po, po, poo, poo, puh. Line 1. Fee, fee, fey, fey, fe, fa, fa, fo, fo, fu, fu, fu. Line 3. B, a, p. Asher, Nishbati, B'api. Line 4. Partsi, Al Yad, Ish, Ben, Partsi. Line 5. Panay, Panay, Shabbat, Nikabala. Line 6. Paro, that's Pharaoh. Of course, it's the Hebrew word. And actually, the Hebrew is probably a Hebrew rendition of what was an ancient Egyptian word. We don't know what that word sounded like. So in Hebrew, it's rendered paro, and in English, it's presented as Pharaoh. Line 7, last two words, peri, ha'adama. Line 8, bore, peri, ha'adama. Line 9, peri, peri, hagefen. Line 10, bore, pri, hagafen. Reviewing, this is the blessing we would say when we drink a glass of wine. Baruch atah Hashem Eloheinu melech ha'olam borei pri hagafen. We are finished with this page. You now know the pay and the fey beautifully. And now we're moving on to the next segment. Now we're going to take a little bit more time with this just to practice. We already know the bet. It has a ball inside a belly button, a dot in the center. This is the B sound, B, bet. the B. So 3 words up here. Baruch B'nai Shabbat. Very simple words. We know the bet. This is a vet. It is a V sound. Yes, there are 2 V sounding letters in Hebrew. One is the Vav, if it has no dot over it or a dot in the center. It is a V, it is a Vav. This is the vet. You have to pay attention and understand that there is no dot in the center. It makes the vet. It looks like the bet, but there is no dot in the center. So please pay attention. Please practice that. This is the vet. And we'll be moving slowly on lines 1 and so on that have the vet within. Hopefully this is large enough print for you to see. Line 1. Hamevorach. Hamevorach. Uvnei. This is the U vowel. This is the V. Uvnei Shavat. Shavat. Line 2. Baruch Hamevorach. Baruch Hamevorach. Hamevorach is a very common word in Hebrew. It means the blessed one. It's line Hamevorach. B'nai uvnei. B'nai uvnei. Shabbat, Shavat. Shabbat, Shavat. You see that Shabbat and Shavat are nearly identical. Obviously, the only difference is one has a dot and one does not. One is the bet, one is the vet. Line 3 and line 4 are 2 individual one-liners that comprise one of the most important Jewish prayers in all of Jewish life. It's called the Baruch Hu, after the first word. Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu. Et Hashem Hamivorach. Hamivorach. Baruch Hu et Hashem Hamivorach. Line 4. Baruch Hashem Hamivorach le'olam va'ed. These 2 one-liners are recited every morning and every evening of the entire year when you have Jewish group worship. It's called the Baruch Hu. Whoever might be leading the service does not need to be a rabbi, cantor, or anyone in the synagogue or temple who knows Hebrew. If you're praying outside, anybody who knows the prayers and is leading, the leader says line 3, Baruch Hu et Hashem Hamivorach. The community then replies with line 4, Baruch Hashem Hamivorach le'olam va'ed. Then the leader says line 4 again, Baruch Hashem Hamivorach le'olam va'ed. There are different melodies to this. Often this is sung or chanted. It's called the Baruch Hu because the beginning is opened with the word Baruch Hu. So again, and if we were praying, we would say Adonai. Right now we're practicing, but once we'll practice it with God's name. So the Baruch Hu is as follows. Leader, Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamivorach. Community, Baruch Adonai Hamivorach le'olam va'ed. Leader replies, Baruch Adonai Hamivorach le'olam va'ed. This is called the Baruch Hu. It is recited every single day of the Jewish year, of the regular year, and it is just a few minutes before the Shema. The Baruch Hu is the introduction to the Shema. People stand up, and you might see that some people bend and bow their knees upon reciting the first word, which is Baruch Hu, and then on line 4, the word Baruch. Line number 5. Mikadesh Hashabat. Mikadesh Hashabat. Line 6. Uvayom Hashvi'i Shavat. Repeat, line 6. Uvayom Hashvi'i Shavat. Line number 7. Bayom Uvayom. Bayom Uvayom. Beini Uvain. Beini Uvain. Line 8. Be'ahava Uvratson. Line 8. Be'ahava Uvratson. Line 9. Biratson. Uvratson. Biratson. Uvratson. Line 10. Ahava Be'ahava. Ahava Be'ahava. Ahava is the Hebrew word for love. Ahava means love. It's a noun. Be'ahava means with love. So if you were writing a letter to somebody and wanted to sign it with love, you would sign it be'ahava. Line 11. Banu. Vanu. Viratsa Vanu. Line 11. Banu. Vanu. Viratsa Vanu. Line 12. Bereshit. 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 Bereshit is the name of the first volume of the Bible. And people call it in English Genesis. In Hebrew, it's called Bereshit, which literally means at the time of the beginning. Some people in Jewish life use the term Bereshit and Vreshit almost interchangeably as the nickname of the first volume of the Bible. Officially, it's Bereshit, but because Bereshit and Vreshit sound so very similar, people use them interchangeably, and they are nearly identical, both in sound and in meaning. In meaning, they mean the same thing. Line 13. Vanu, Asher, Kiddushanu, B'mitzvotav. Remember the rule, you got 2 dots underneath the tzadi, so therefore this has to be a vo sound. B'mitzvotav. That's the vowel of the tzadi, so there can't be another vowel to it, and therefore this consonant has its own vowel built in. B'mitzvotav. Viratsa Vanu. Line 14. Be'ahava Uvratson Vishabat Kadsho Be'ahava Uvratson. That line 14 is part of a very important prayer, which we sing Friday night. It's called the Kiddush. And people hold a glass of wine, sing or say the Kiddush, which is a prayer about the creation of the universe and holiness and time. Pardon me. And then people drink a sip of wine. Line 14. Be'ahava uvratson vishabat kadsho be'ahava uvratson. Line 15. Vishabat kadshecha. Vishabat kadshecha. Be'ahava uvratson. Be'ahava uvratson. Repeat last line 15. Vishabat kadshecha be'ahava uvratson. Allow me one more moment, please. Just a little bit of review from a different book that I found, focusing on the vet. on the vet. This is the vet. It's the vet. There is no dot in the center. And you know this word. It's havdalah. Havdalah. That's the shava, the silent, 2 dots. Havdalah. Line 1. Va, va, v, va, va, v. Line 2. Ha, ha, va, ba, v, b. Line 2. Ha, ha, va, ba, v, b. Notice the similarity and the difference. Va, ba, v, b. Line 3. That's one of the first letters we learned. It's the chaf, ha, va, ch, v, ch, v. And notice that the ha is entirely rounded, and the va, or the vet, I should say, has a little tail sticking out. Ch, entirely rounded, vet has a little tail sticking out. Ch, entirely rounded, v, entirely rounded. And obviously the bet and the vet have that same element of a little foot sticking out or bumping out. And that's a good way of remembering. Bumping out. Va, ba, v, b. One more bit of practice on this, please. Again, from a different book. And there are 1 or 2 elements that we haven't yet learned, so we're going to skip. But I want you just to see and practice the difference between the vet and the bet. That's what we're highlighting right now. So up here, line 1, bav, skip, tav, rav, hav, shav. Line 2, taba, shav, maba, hav, skip, bat. Line 3, lav, rav, bal, mav, hava. Line 3, lav, rav, skip, bal, mav, hava. Line 4, sharav, shava, repeat, sharav, shava, skip, lavash, hava, lavash, hava. Line 5, laba, bava, rabba, shavar, rava. Line 5, reviewing, laba, bava, rabba, shavar, rava. Line 6, lavlar, lavlar, rivava, rivava, shavarta, shavarta, skip, havara, havara. There's the vet, havara. Line 7, lehava, lehava, harama, harama, halacha, halacha, hamara, hamara. Skip. Line number 8, hashava, hatasha, hatara, mivala, halcha, halcha. Review line 8, hashava, hatasha, hatara, mivala, halcha, halcha. I think we're going to stop today because the next letter that I'm going to teach is a little confusing as well. And I think this is enough for right now. And perhaps after next week, we can start adding one or two more letters. We're approaching the end of the alphabet. You've accumulated a great deal of material and knowledge, shkoyach, which means good for you. Keep on the good work. Keep on stronger and improving yourself with learning for the sake of involvement in Jewish life. I think we'll call it a day. Shalom, take care, and be well.